Welcome to another episode of Comics and Sweet Tea. So glad to have you guys back this week. Got a lot of news and comic book movies and comics in general. Few things first. If you're new to the channel, hey, be a part of the conversation and subscribe. Leave your thoughts and comments about any of these topics. Um, can't say enough how thankful we are for all the subscribers, the new subscribers. You guys are absolutely awesome. We've got the holidays right around the corner, you guys. And after the first of the year, I will be launching my next book on Kickstarter. That'll be Bounty. It's a sci fi spectacular. Star Wars meets the boys. Um, I'm super excited for that. Um, the pre-launch page is up now. I'll have that link down in the description. You can go to it and go ahead and sign up and just kind of follow the campaign. Um, let's jump right into it. So we've got some really interesting stories. This one in particular, for anybody that's collected comics for any number of years, will find this one a little hard to believe. It kind of blew my mind. Diamond distributors. We all know about Diamond. Um, Hold on, let me get the story pulled up for you guys, and we'll go through it. Okay, so the headline: More Diamond comic distributor delays and comic store distress. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, Bleeding Cool reported on delays from Diamond Comic Distributors as a result of closing the Plattsburgh distribution center on the New York Canada border. Yesterday, Bleeding Cool writer and comic store employee Jeremy Conrad shared how he was losing sleep at night as a retailer as a result of of Diamond distributor delays. At the time, uh, said he was knee deep in updates to what had been happening, and it seemed that Conrad's article may have inspired Diamond to send out a second missive yesterday. But dial back a week on the 4th of December, Chris Powell, Chief of Sales and Service Officer at the Enterprise, owner of Diamond Comic Distributors, told retailers disruptions from the consolidation of accounts to Diamond's Olive Branch distribution center have been compounded by the Thanksgiving holiday. Despite the distribution center teams working through the weekend for product with an on sale date of December 4th, many shipments will be delayed to Wednesday or Thursday of this week due to the changes to how we process shipments. Operations is unable to provide retailer services with information on shipments any earlier than when they appear on the retailer services website shipment tracking page. The most up to date information for retailers is on that page. Okay. Yesterday evening, Chris Powell sent a follow up. Let me begin by offering a direct apology. I know the shipping delays and inconsistencies over the past month have caused significant challenges and frustration, and I sincerely apologize for the impact this has had on your business operations. While we had made the decision to consolidate our distribution centers, the intent was to do so over a longer period of time in a slower part of the year. Unexpectedly, the owner of the Plattsburgh facility chose not to extend our lease on a month to month basis, having identified another tenant without even advertising the space. This drastically reduced the time needed to plan and execute these changes. This accelerated timeline for our move compounded by holiday schedules and necessary invoicing reporting adjustments, created a perfect storm that has affected you in unacceptable ways. We are dedicated to getting things back on track, and our operations team have worked every day other than Thanksgiving to help us get there. Here is what we as an organization have been doing to address this. They go into team mobilization, communication, operational adjustments. And he goes on to say, my goal is to provide you with accurate, timely answers to your questions. While my team has been doing their very best, they are often limited by the information available at any given time. With the support of our software developers and the operations teams, we are enhancing our systems to provide more timely and accurate updates. Wow. So, boom. No, sorry, I jumped ahead. So, Diamond Distributors, we all know uh, DC had cut ties with them as their primary distributor. Um, and with them not getting all the money, they had to do what they could. So, of course, they're having to scale down their businesses and their warehouses and stuff like that. So, you heard the same thing I did. They're going through the crunch of trying to downsize and keep this massive operation going. And they just got hit with an unexpected deal. Okay. It goes on to say, the article goes on to say that such delays and problems are happening now makes things appear more vulnerable for Diamond, who has gone from being the direct market monopoly to losing all distribution rights to DC Comics in North America, which I touched on just a second ago, to losing exclusive rights and become a third party redistribution for Marvel, Image, IDW, Dark Horse, Tokyo Pop, and a shared distributor for Oni Press, Scout, Magma, Mad Caves, Fantagraphics, Drawn and Quarterly, CEX, Ahoy, AWA, and more. They have reduced their operations and moved some over to their Alliance Games distributor, but this just gives retailers a bigger reason to move some of their orders over to Lunar and Penguin Random House, just as Boom Studios announces it will no longer be Diamond exclusive either. Wow. So they took another hit. Let's see if we can bail off into this. And of course, it wants to be slow. Anyway, let's move on. We've got other stories to cover. So let's see what we've got. Like I said, a lot of news, guys. We'll get into this. We all figured it was coming. As soon as Robert Downey Jr. made the announcements earlier this year at San Diego Comic-Con that he'd be coming back. But here's some more news. Chris Evans returns for Avengers Doomsday. We all seen the writing on the wall with this. Chris Evans is set to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with the actor joining the cast of Avengers Doomsday for Marvel Studios. The Wrap first broke the news saying Evans will be involved in some capacity, but the extent and actual and exact nature of his role is unknown. Evans starred as Steve Rogers across 3 Captain America and 4 Avengers films, along with cameos in 4 other films over a span of 8 years, from 2011 to 2019. Evans sunsetted his Steve Rogers character in Avengers Endgame, but did return to the MCU this summer as Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine. Meanwhile, Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, will take over the Captain America moniker for next year's Captain America Brave New World, opening in February. Deadline adds that Mackie has also been confirmed today as reprising that role in Doomsday. Evans' return has long been rumored in fanboy circles, but how it'll work into the narrative is the big question. His former co-star Robert Downey Jr. returns for the film as well, though with him, we know it will be in the new role of Doom. Avengers Doomsday is scheduled to shoot next year and is slated for release of May 1st, 2026. So we all kind of seen the writing on the wall with that. But anyway, I think it's rather interesting that you notice it mentions that Mackie is set to star as Captain America. So will Chris Evans be coming in as another variant of Captain America? Will he be coming in as the character as we know it into Doomsday, maybe as Nomad? Any of you long-term Cap fans from the comics will know exactly what I'm talking about. And he kind of filled that role unbeknownst and the Infinity War movies, with the beard and the removed and disheveled costume, but it was never mentioned that he was Nomad. So who knows? Maybe he will take on the character by name this go around. We'll see. And some other news. This one's been brought up quite a lot here lately. Some reshoots for Superman. Now we know that James Gunn recently, well, I say recently, a while back, reached out and said that he didn't need reshoots. That Superman was done, and of course, this mention of some more filming just kind of set the internet ablaze, saying, "Oh, what's he doing?" But anyway, DC Studios chief James Gunn has quickly clarified a report about Superman reshoots that recently emerged. According to comic book movies, the talk suggested several days of reshoots are scheduled to take place in Los Angeles soon. Gunn took to threads to clarify that further filming is taking place, but it's nothing that dramatic. He says, sort of, not a few days. We're doing a day and a half of pickup shots, no scenes, no reshoots, just a handful of individual shots to enhance the film. That was a quote from James Gunn himself. Gunn has made it a mission statement of the new DC universe to not greenlight a film until the script is done and locked, and thus any additional filming required after the main film should be fairly minimal. The aim is to avoid the headaches that Marvel Studios has found itself in, where several films have undergone additional filming that stretched to many weeks and seen major overhauls of films. Gunn also recently clarified on Happy Sad Confused that the DC Universe will not be doing a Marvel-style build-up to a crossover film taking on a new big bad a la Thanos. Gunn said the aim of these films isn't to tell one huge story, but rather focus on world building. This is a direct quote from him. He said, these are interconnected stories, but people are always going to be saying, who's the big bad? Are there big bads for connected films? Yes. But is this all about, hey, I'm telling this one story about this big bad? No. This is about a connected universe. We're world building, not story building. We're not writing one story that has a beginning, middle, and end. We're creating a universe where people in which can go and join in and experience it. It is much more like Star Wars. And of course, Gunn's Creature Commandos has begun airing on Max with new episodes over the next few weeks. So, how you feel about this? Do you think the film's in trouble, or do you believe James Gunn that this is just some pickup shots? Uh, on the Diamond story, how you feel about this? The Diamond kind of monopolized the market in the '90s and has done so consistently for almost 30 years. How do you feel about where they stand now as far as having to cave a little bit and downsize and all that? And what are your thoughts on Chris Evans' return to the MCU? Do you think it's going back to the well, maybe trying to save face for the lackluster films they've released recently? And they're trying to go by bringing RDJ back and Chris Evans. Do you think they're kind of, like I said, going back to the well? Leave your thoughts and your comments, and I promise I'll get back to you. I'd love to know what you guys think about it. All right. Got another story here that going to pull up here in just a second. I thought this one was rather interesting. This is one of my favorite writers. He's known for so much. He's got two of his titles that he's written right here in front of you, The Ultimates and The Magic Order. You've also got Old Man Logan. He's done so many, you know, famous storylines that it's hard to keep up with all of them. So anyway, we know earlier. Oh, and I talked about it on the show as well that it was announced by DC that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb would be set for March 2025 to do a sequel story to Batman's Hush. Well, Marvel Comics has a big announcement coming tomorrow, and there's been a lot of rumors flying around, and usually where there's smoke, there's fire. So this isn't confirmed, but this is just kind of what everybody's thinking that they'll have a story to compete with the Hush sequel in March of 2025, and a lot of people are pointing to this man right here, Mark Millar. Um, Mark, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, but Mark Paniccia is the senior editor at Marvel Comics and has been on at the company since 2004, making his 20th year at the publisher. He is currently the Star Wars editor at Marvel, as well as on such titles as Sabretooth, Conquest 2099, Ghost Rider, Helverine, and more, and was editor at Wolverine when it did its own version of Hush and had Mark Millar and Steve McNiven jump forward in time and across dimensions for the now classic Old Man Logan. Mark Millar has been making noises about coming back to Marvel for something big in 2025 and was talking to Marvel EIC CB Sobolski or Kobolski when he came to London for a Fantastic Four movie set visit. This is purely speculation, but maybe Mark Millar will team up with Mark Paniccia on something, maybe even with Steve McNiven. Again, this is just mindless speculation, and the two things may not be linked at all. But what if they were? Wouldn't that be a nice 1-2 for Marvel Comics to launch against DC Comics in March and have the Old Man Logan team up against the Hush team? So that's it in a nutshell. It's like I said, just purely speculation for now. We'll see how that goes. And you caught me with my eyes on. But anyway, what do you guys think? Would you be excited for Mark Millar to return to Marvel Comics? Are you excited for the Hush sequel? Um, there's a lot going on in comics right now, and I mean the competition has only breeded great stories and great artwork from the two through the years, and I'm sure this will be the same. We're going to have two awesome stories. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited for the Hush sequel. Can't wait to see what they do with that. I know Jim Lee is absolutely going to crush it. I love Jeff Loeb's work. He's got so many great stories. So anyway, guys, short and sweet. We brought you a lot of news in just a short amount of time. Anyway, hope you guys have an awesome night. Be sure to tune in. Turn. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode. Um, you guys are awesome. Hey, that's the show. We're out.